Hello traders, this is Tom Williams from Opteck. Good day to you all. Today it's the 18th of September 2013. As we saw from yesterday, we have a lot of traders that are waiting outside of the market, not investing toward any direction, waiting for the market to express the announcement from the FOMC. For those of you who aren't familiar with the FOMC is the Federal Open Market Committee. It delivers the suggestions to the federal bank in the United States, and this is why every announcement from the FOMC is expressing a lot of liquidity in the market. But before the announcement, as we are explaining during the first webinar regarding liquidity, when we're expecting huge announcement to deliver confirmation to traders, we know that before the announcements we've got a very low amount of liquidity, and this is why this is my expectation at the moment. Obviously, at 1:30 p.m. I'm expecting the building permits to express some sort of liquidity in the market, but generally I'm expecting the market to stand aside, not to trade, not to move a lot before the announcement on the at 7 p.m. GMT time. So we will wait for an additional large amount of liquidity at that time. Now let me explain what will be a logical reaction to the announcement. Again, it's a method of analyzing huge announcements and expecting some sort of liquidity. Let's say that we've got, regardless of the currency, you know what, let's take the euro in front of the US dollar. So if we've got the euro in front of the US dollar, we know that the market is bouncing a bit higher, a bit lower, forming a choppy overlapping movement. Now obviously, if we will receive a good announcement on the dollar, that will send this chart down significantly, or a bad announcement on the dollar will send the chart higher significantly. Now, let's say that the dollar will receive good announcement. Our expectation again is that the market will continue below the entire corrective pattern, and then we'll be able to join. But I won't join in this area. I will join after we will have a pullback, and then we'll be able to join that movement with the indication according to our strategy. Every time that we've got a huge announcement, we can't enter as the announcement is delivered to the market, because we don't know for how long the first movement will continue, in this case, to collapse. Only once we've got a pullback, then we can join the current movement with the necessary accuracy needed in the binary option market. Again, the opposite direction, if the dollar will receive bad announcement, then we will see a choppy overlapping movement before we will see the market all of a sudden climbing up significantly. After half an hour, 15 minutes, we will see a bit of a choppy overlapping movement, and then it will continue. That will be the indication according to our strategy. So let's go and see what's going on right now in the market. I can tell you that generally the market is not delivering a lot of potential, but let's see that. So we can see that generally the Japanese yen is forming a corrective pattern. For those of you who are working with me and familiar with the elite wave analysis, we know that we've got an impulse pattern and a choppy overlapping movement, impulse movement and a choppy overlapping movement. That's an indication for a potential for a higher rate. I'm expecting the Japanese yen to continue its expression of weakness, just as it had for the last several weeks. We can see the same structure occurring on the euro, on the Australian dollar. We can see the same structure on the Swiss franc. We can see the same structure on the Canadian dollar. Let's look at the strength indication, who's stronger and who's weaker at the moment. The New Zealand is showing us 49, 48, 46, 47, 53, 45. Okay, so we can say that the pound is the strongest currency at the moment. We can say that the Japanese yen is gaining a lot of strength in front of many currencies, but again, I'm not expecting it to continue for a lot of time. I'm expecting the Japanese yen to express the weakness that it had for the last several weeks. So right now, again, we don't have a lot of liquidity, but we've got great potential expressing the strength of the pound at least until the evening. Any kind of expression toward a stronger pound will be an accurate and a good potential for trade. Let me give you an example. Let's take the dollar, which is among the weakest currencies, if not the weakest. The dollar and the euro are the weakest. Let's see both currencies in front of the pound. So pound versus US dollar, we should see a huge movement. That's exactly right. A 15-minute chart. Again, the only thing that I need to wait for is a pullback from the stochastic that will allow me to join that upward movement. Let's look at the euro versus the pound. Should drop down significantly. Exactly right. 15-minute chart. Again, the same scenario. I'm still expecting the market to form a choppy overlapping movement climbing up, releasing the stochastic higher, and then I'll be able to catch that for a downtrend. The strategy is allowing us to enjoy movements and not to guess whether the market will follow, will continue its movement or not. I can tell you that a lot of traders are trying to guess what the market will do, and as large the amount of guess, as lower the amount of profitable trades. That's obvious. You need to have a specific strategy, a specific method, a specific indicator to follow, and that's exactly what we're teaching here in Opteck, how to follow a specific method using specific indicators. And I can tell you that we don't have 100 trades a day. We will have a potential for 10 trades a day, 5 trades a day, good trades according to our strategy, and that's more than enough. That's more than enough in the binary option market. So let's go over the currencies. Again, I went over several assets, and right now let's look at other charts. Okay, we've got the euro versus the Australian dollar for a put option. That's a great indication right now. You put option on the euro versus the Australian dollar, and we've got potential for the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, just as we had yesterday. An uptrend over here, a downtrend over here. Good potential for 2 trades. Let's look at other charts. A good potential for the euro versus Japanese yen for a put option. Another one, great one. Euro versus the Canadian dollar for a put. The euro is it's approaching a point where we're expecting it to express a bit of weakness. Again, the Australian dollar versus the US dollar for a call option. That's a good opportunity. And basically that is it. Let's talk a bit about the commodities. The gold, we said that the gold should collapse down after the corrective pattern. That was a great trade that we had over here. A bounce higher toward the exhaustion level will allow us to rejoin that specific movement. Until then, I wish you all the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye bye.